When he opened his door and walked in, he was met by a very large gentleman who had a knife in one hand and a very large wrench in the other hand. Hey family, and welcome back to another episode on our true crime series. Now today's true crime comes from I Survived. You guys, this is so crazy. So imagine coming home from work and being met with officers in your driveway. And the officers proceed to tell you that they are there because there is an escaped convict in your neighborhood. Yeah. So 60-year-old Gordy came home, and like I said, he was met by officers in his driveway. He walked up to them to see what was going on, and they proceeded to let him know that it was an escaped convict in their neighborhood, and just to be on the lookout. Gordy didn't feel, anything about it. He felt like that was, such a secure neighborhood, so he proceeded to go on, in his home and, just relax as normal. But he stated that when he opened his door and walked in, he was met by a very large gentleman who had a knife in one hand and a very large wrench in the other hand. Now, this gentleman proceeded to tell Gordy to go to the table and sit down and to tie himself up, which Gordy did. He said that he was very scared in the moment, but who wouldn't be? So he did whatever he said. He didn't want to, die. That his only thing was he didn't want his wife to come home and to find him like that. So, he went along with the plan. He knew that his wife would be home not long after he made it. And lo and behold, she did. She came home. She said when she opened the front door, she seen Gordy sitting in her chair, which she found suspicious. But she went on and bent down to greet their dog. And when she rose up, she said she came face to face with this very large gentleman. She described him as 6'2", with a beard and shaggy hair. He had a fillet knife to her throat and a very large wrench in the other hand. And he also made her, go sit down. Now, this gentleman went on to, tell them that he was a three-time felon, how he wasn't going back to prison. He talked to them about how he lured girls into basically abandoned buildings, how he beat this young gentleman and to the hospital. Basically, he put him in the hospital, and he felt like the next thing in his career was to murder someone. Yep. So he wasn't afraid to murder anyone. Yeah, so he proceeded to ask them for guns and for drugs. And Betty, explained to him they didn't have any guns, and the strongest drug that they had in the house was probably some extra strength Tylenol. But he did say that he had already eaten them.
He ate everyone he had.
So, he was looking for something stronger. He proceeded to ask for food. He wanted them to, cook for him. She said she was constantly giving him coffee. And she made him a frozen pizza. That was about all that she had in the freezer. So yeah, she fed him pizza, gave him more coffee, and they sat down to watch. What was the show?
He said he wanted to watch his favorite TV show, and his favorite TV show was Murder Was What She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, Murder, She Wrote. Mm-hmm. Now, she said that was very weird because that just happened to be one of her and her husband's favorite shows. So she now said her and her husband found themselves watching their favorite TV show, which was Murder, She Wrote, with someone who felt like they was going to murder her and him.
Yeah, it was a very scary situation. I remember she described him. She said she would never forget the way he smelled. He had this very strong, sweaty type smell to him. She said she will never forget that. Even when he went to the bathroom, he would make Betty come in the bathroom with him and leave Gordy on the outside because Betty knew that Gordy wouldn't do anything if she was in there with him. So Betty said she felt like he was, kind of smart because he realized that. as long as he had her, that Gordy wouldn't do anything. He did went on to explain to them that he wasn't leaving until about 5 o'clock in the morning because that's when the police shift changed and they were stupid. That's what he told them. And around 5:30ish, that's when he got up and was telling them, okay, it's time to go. He was going to disguise himself as Gordy to get out of there. He did try to shave his beard off, but it was so long and full that he burnt the razor out. He did put on some of Gordy clothes, and Gordy was like, he didn't feel like that the disguise was gonna work because he was about 5'8",
and this, 6'4".
Yeah, he was like beyond 6 foot. But he did put on Gordy's clothes, and he told them, okay, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I'm leaving, and the bad news is y'all are coming with me. So he basically taped like Gordy's hands and put him in the car. He put Betty in the car, and he taped her to the seat. At this point, they just knew that, they were going to die. Betty described it as horrific. She did say that at one point, the only thing she could think about was how bad it was going to hurt when he sliced her throat, or how many times would he stab them before, realizing they're dead. And her biggest fear was her children finding them laying in a pool of blood. She did not want her children to find her laying like that. She would rather a stranger find her and just let that be that. So he proceeded to get them in the car, and they left. He said the police was stupid. He was from the South, so they would think that he was going south, so he proceeded to go north. They got in Gordy's truck, and they went north. Well, at some point he stopped to get cigarettes from a gas station, and Gordy said about 4 blocks away from their home, he had already got his wrist loose out of the tape. So he knew at some point that they were gonna escape. But this was the perfect opportunity when he stopped to get cigarettes. So he went out in the store. That's when Gordy jumped out the back, swung Betty's door open, ripped the tape off her, and was like, hey, we have to go. Like, this is the time, we have to go. So they literally ran across the highway and flagged down someone who drove them to a police station. Okay, so not long after they went to the police station, the convict was caught a few hours later in Chicago. They did give him a few more years added on to what his sentence previously was. I believe it was 4 years? 3 or 4 years they added on to his sentence. 6 years after that, he did end up getting released. But then he died in a car crash 6 months after his release date.
In a police chase.
In a police car chase, yes.
He was just in trouble with the law.
Right. It's super crazy. Like, imagine, doing all this just to die from running from the police. It's super crazy. And Betty was like, she held it together for 14 hours. She didn't shed a tear at all. But when she got to that police station, she said she couldn't hold it anymore. And it wasn't pretty, but it's exactly what she needed in that moment. Y'all, how scary is that? Just imagine coming home, and you're thinking, it's a regular smegular day. You're coming home, but as soon as you walk through your door, you're met with this stranger who is 6'2", a big man who has a knife in his hand and a wrench in another hand. Like, what do you do?
And what's so crazy is the police is sitting in my driveway.
That they never thought
to look in the house. They said they never checked none of the houses. They just checked the area. Yeah. But they are sitting in my driveway. Like, how close are you to, catching this guy? And that they didn't think he was in our house, but be on the lookout for him, and he in my house. That is crazy. Crazy,
crazy, crazy. I definitely had to bring you guys this true crime from this episode. If you haven't already, you can check it out. I will leave the link down below. We did watch this here on YouTube. It's from the series I Survived, and it's season 5, episode 8. But like I said before, we'll leave it all down below so you can watch it yourself. It's very crazy. Like, I don't even know what I would do in this situation. I would definitely, have to do whatever they say, of course.
I'm boxing my way up out of there.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to handle up. But anyways, we thank you guys for watching our videos and for coming back every week to rock with us. As we say, we are a big family over here, so if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumb up if you like, thumbs up, blah blah blah, if you like our content, and also hit that post notification bell so you won't miss the next upload. We love you guys, and we will see you in the next one.